Oh my goodness, good morning, good morning. I have missed being with you so much, and I'm so excited to be back. How are you? How are you? How is baby doing? How is the little toddler doing as you are growing and growing and growing? Oh my gosh. I am so excited. I have some really great activities for you today. Now, we went through the alphabet with our read time with baby, and we found books that went with each letter of the alphabet, except for a few. But we did it. We did the sounds and all that great stuff. And I want to encourage you to keep reading. Reading is so important. And one of the things I know about reading is that as a child grows and develops, he or she needs to be able to turn those pages. And the turning the pages are connected to that feeling of touch and connected to the sense of touch, rather, to the sense of, to the fine motor skills. So we are going to combine that those reading skills with some fine motor. And then for the children who take a longer time to read and it's more difficult for them to pronounce those words, you want to make a book come alive, come alive, come alive. So you can take pictures out of the book and break it down into smaller portions so that you can get the book to be relevant to the child. So today, we are going to focus on a few things. We're going to first talk about sensory. We're going to talk about fine motor. And then we're going to take the letter A and, again, review that sound and then make something that starts with the letter A. We want to use the hands because the hands are so important to development. Don't you agree? Yes, 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 of course they are. So let's talk a little bit about sensory play. Why is sensory play important to toddlers? And sensory play, by that I mean anything that has to do with the senses. Okay, your sense of touch, sight, smell, taste, and hearing. Now, sensory play is important because it helps your toddler develop their senses, right? Their motor skills, their language, and their cognitive abilities. Now, this is how it's going to help impact your child as you expose your child to sensory play. This is how it's going to work. Sensory play helps your child understand that how their actions affect the world around them, right? It helps them to develop sensory integration. You touch, but you don't only touch, or you see, but you don't only see. You take what you see and you create. Okay, you form those lines, you form those circles, you scribble, right, at those developmental stages. Yes, yes, yes. So, sensory play helps you to develop fine motor skills. And what do we use fine motor skills for as your toddler is growing? You are teaching him how to button, yes, buttoning and scribbling again, or coloring or painting. So those are such important skills to develop, right? Under motor skills. It also helps, and this is sensory play, also helps to develop gross motor skills. Did you think about that? Which are used for walking and running. Now, sensory play is so important. It doesn't stop at motor skills. It doesn't stop at sensory awareness. It also impacts cognitive development. Sensory play helps children learn through exploration. It helps them to problem solve and be creative. It helps them to build nerve connections in the brain. We always talk about those neuronal connections, which make it easier for them to learn and retain information. Oh yes, oh yes. Now, when it comes to language development, do you know sensory play also impacts language development? Of course it does. Sensory play helps children develop language skills. So here's our connection to our reading, our sensory play, and then there are two other areas I want to touch quickly. Sensory play can help your child learn about feelings and emotions. And we're going to go through all of these different aspects of sensory play and their impact or their benefits as we continue to meet each Saturday morning. Sensory play can help children with special needs develop a curiosity for the world around them. Oh my gosh, isn't that a lot of exciting and relevant information that you can use as you train your toddler? Yes, 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 it certainly is. It certainly is. Now, I talked a lot about sensory play, and you are probably asking yourself, what is sensory play? You know, what can I do to engage my child in sensory play? And I want to introduce you to a couple of activities this morning to help you with that. Activity number 1, we're going to call that flower sensory tray. Here's the flower sensory tray. Now get any tray that you can find, and I'm going to wait for you to go get it quickly so we can do this activity together. It can be a foil pan, it can be a baking pan, it can be a plate with an edge, anything. I know a lot of times parents get very worried that children are messy and she's messing up the floor and the food is getting everywhere. Now, relax. Children need to go through that. Let them explore. And today we are creating an opportunity for exploration. So here's my tray. And then in my tray, you can see a little mountain, a little hill. Put some flour in the tray. Okay, you're going to put a flower in the tray. And this is going to be called flower sensory tray. Okay, there's your flower in the tray. Let your toddler sit at a table and then spread out the flour there with his hands in it. Oh my goodness. Or hands in that flour. I mean, they may get it on their faces or wherever it goes. That's okay. This is a time for fun and relaxation. Now you can use flour, you can use rice, you can use shaving cream, you can use cereal, cornmeal cereal, cream of wheat, you know, anything. Just spread it out in the tray, just like this, and then have your child explore. You can put beads, you can put buttons, you can put whatever you want in this. Now, because we were looking at reading and our letters and the sounds they make, I want us to go back to the letter A today. So the letter A, we said, made the sound ah, and if it's a long A, it says its name, A. So this is the fine motor combination with our sensory play. Let your child get that pointer finger out. You may need to do hand over hand for this. Put that finger in the flour, and we're going to do a line down and another line down, and we're going to go across to make the letter A. So in your sensory play, while your child is playing, help him or her make the letter A. Maybe him or her is not at, he or she is not at that point, but you can help your child make lines. They can be vertical lines, just lines isolating that pointer finger, or it can be horizontal lines just going across, or it can be diagonal lines, right diagonal and left diagonal lines. You know, while they are playing in that flower, just have fun. Even if they don't do the fine motor piece with isolating the finger, just let them have fun, get the flour all over them, taste it, smell it, you know, just have fun exploring, because sensory play helps the child develop in so many areas. Now, one of the things that your child does all the time, or you do to your child, is lotion your child's body. So you can use lotion instead. That would be another aspect, another activity that you can use for sensory play. Put the lotion in a container, squeeze it out, squeeze it out, squeeze it out, get it in the container, and have your child play in it. And then after he or she is finished, apply it to the body, so the exploration of sensory play is happening all over the body, and it makes it even more exciting and interesting. Now, we talked about sensory play and we're getting down to the end. Let's do a fine motor activity. So here's your fine motor activity. You want to give your child some Play-Doh. This is Therapody, because I couldn't find any Play-Doh. Or Therapody, and to develop those muscles of the hands which are needed for your child to write and to do the buttoning and those kinds of things that he or she would need to do as they grow. You want to develop those muscles. We're going to take that Play-Doh and we're going to squeeze 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're going to switch and do the same thing in the other hand. Now, squeezing Play-Doh will help your child develop those fine motor muscles, those fine motor skills, those smaller muscles of the hands. You can also roll Play-Doh or really pinch pieces of the Play-Doh. This Therapody is very hard. It's the strength, the thickness or the tightness of it is very, very deep. So, okay, so I pulled off a piece. Now, this is what I want to do, and your child should have the Play-Doh. We're going to roll it into a ball. And as we are rolling, we don't really want to make a ball. We want to make it in a circular shape, because we are looking at the letter A, and we want to think of something that starts with the letter A. What starts with the letter A that we can make out of our Play-Doh? That's an apple. Yes, that's an apple. A is for apple. We're going to take your Play-Doh, take a pencil, and poke a hole in the middle there. We're going to make our apple, and then the piece that we pinched off, we're going to roll it. We can put it down on the table, or you can roll it in your hands. And this is what we're going to take this to do. We're going to put it in that hole, and that's going to be our apple. There's the stem of our apple. A is for apple. Again, let your toddler explore. Turn off the TV, take away the phones and the tablets, and let your toddler develop those fine motor skills of the hands and those sensory skills that connect and help you with cognitive development, physical motor development, fine motor development, language, so many areas of your child's development. So sensory play is what we focus on this morning. We used an activity called the Flower Sensory Tray by hands-on. As we grow, we use the activity of lotion, which we can put in a container as well and have your child explore. Then we use a fine motor activity of Play-Doh when we made a word that starts with the letter A, which is an apple. Rolling and pinching and squeezing. It was lovely having you with me this morning as we move on to another aspect of Read Time with Baby. We are focusing on sensory play and fine motor development, and I hope you had fun as we introduced a few activities. See you again next week. Let me know what you did and what your child loved, and we'll create a world of learning as we build on the development of our babies and toddlers and our school children. Have a wonderful Saturday exploring.